Hey, this is Helen Paradise from SoCal, and you are listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish, what?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, we are into the second hour. I was just reading an email from one of the smartest guys in barbecue, Tim McKeska, who we're looking to line up here before 2023 ends to get a status of the barbecue industry update. He is the worldwide leader in expertise, as we've come to find out during his visit to the show. That's why he is a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer. Now, almost 2 years ago. You have found the second hour of the Barbecue Central Show. So if you're just stumbling in here, you missed the first hour, but that'll be up on podcast tomorrow, so you can catch up. And the second hour will be up on Thursday, and I'll tell you about Friday here in a second. Still to come on the show this evening, the embedded correspondents and I discuss and then induct a new Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame, so stay tuned for that. Yes, we are a month late. Typically, we're doing that in September. But as I said in the show open, Jason Baker was sitting in during the show last month at this time, and I didn't want him to just sit here and not take part. I certainly wouldn't expect him to have a list of names to nominate for the Guest Hall of Fame other than himself, because he's always been a great guest. So we wanted to include Jason, and we had just an ever-growing list of 100% Assurity questions that we wanted to get through. We have one 100% Assurity question that we have to lead with, and then we have the poll question. It's probably going to be reversed, and then we will get into the Barbecue Hall of Fame stuff after that, if you were wondering. We say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of the video streaming platform partners of this show, Facebook or Twitch, which is found at /BBQ Central Show. You can also watch over on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. And we have an update on the YouTube poll question of the week, which is this: between the two, which cooker would you buy, pellet or ceramic? And as we are building into the second hour, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't believe, but now it is much, much closer. 59% of you are saying pellet cooker is on the buy for you, but we are much closer to 50-50, which is what I was hoping about an hour ago. So good to see that we are starting to converge into the fist fight that I thought it might be. Thank goodness. I am aligning with the 41% of you that are saying ceramic cooker. For me, and as I saw Andrew Barnhart talk about, living in Ohio, hard to choose a pellet grill over ceramic because the temperature drops and the pellet grills that Adams used have struggled. I haven't necessarily seen a struggling to keep temperature. However, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that what I want to use? I can say unequivocally, it does use more pellets to keep that fire where it needs to be. So unless you have an insanely insulated pellet grill, I don't know too many, unless they're super high dollar, that are insanely insulated, especially for somewhere where I live or further up north, like in the New England area, things like that. But that ceramic cooker is a monster. Once that heats up, even in the bitter cold, it holds heat like crazy. So you're not nearly gobbling up the fuel as you would in, let's say, Weber Kettle, Weber Smoky Mountain, or in some of the more commodity-built pellet cookers that just don't have a lot of thick gauge steel to hold that heat in. So it's wicking away. You're burning through the pellets a lot quicker. And remember, it's expensive to run a pellet cooker. I don't know if you realize this or not, but cost it out. 20-pound bag of pellets typically is costing you roughly $20. So it's $1 a pound to run that pellet cooker. Now, sometimes you run into sales, you get bulk discount, buy the 40-pound bag, save some money, but on the average, it's about $1 a pound for cooking pellets, not heating pellets, totally different, but the wood pellet. As an aside, because we talked about it with Wes Wright at 35 past the hour last week, RecTech is bringing the, is it called Woodstone or Fire Flap? I don't know. They had a cute name for their griddle. It's fully pellet-fired griddle. I did get a message from RecTech over the course of the week saying that they would like to schedule somebody on the show to talk about it. It's still waiting to put that together because the most important question I have is not necessarily can this thing actually fire and properly heat the 36-inch cooktop, but can I use a cheaper pellet? Because as I was just complaining about how expensive pellets are, if you have to use a food-grade wood pellet, that thing is going to be highly inefficient and very expensive to run. I forget what the price tag was on that thing. It was it $700 or $900 somewhere? Maybe it was somewhere in the middle of that. But just from a fire standpoint, that thing could be highly expensive to run. So we'll keep tabs on that as well. Hey, coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, episode 305, taking you back to April 12th, 2008. Wow, we're going all the way back. This week features a lesser-known personality when compared to my guest Hall of Fame mother. My dad makes an appearance, Bill Rempe, a rare appearance on the show. And this actually was off a listener request from longtime fan of the show, Derek. And I'll say your last name wrong, so I'm not going to say it. But Derek, you know who you are. He wrote in and asked John Solberg to put it together. In this segment, my dad and I talk about fuel sources, and then we specifically talk about OEM and aftermarket propane gas readers, and then we really dive into a Christmas gift that I got him that Christmas, so this was April, so the Christmas of 2007, and it appeared to be quite a hit with him as it relates to letting him know the liquid propane level on the tank. And after listening back, I have to say, we did a very good job of selling this item. I'm not sure if it's in business anymore or maybe some other company bought it from the original company and it's still for sale, something along these lines. So as the holidays spool up and you have a live fire gas grill lover in your circle of friends and family, this might be a type of gift you should be considering. Outside of that, you should be considering subscribing to the show podcast feed if you don't already, which is thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And that way you get all the replays of the Barbecue Central Show, but then you automatically get the delivery of the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less every Friday going forward. If you're not subscribed, also, if you don't want to use a podcast platform app, or you don't have an app, you can subscribe through the email option, which you will see on that page as well. And don't forget, if you want to hear a guest or a segment again that's been lost in the archives, email John Solberg and let him know what you would like to hear. Very easy, JON@thebbqcentralshow.com, and he will do his best to meet your expectation. Last week, what did I tell you about Memphis in May? They were going to keep the barbecue. They were ditching the music festival. Well, on October 18th, and according to ActionNews5.com, Jared Pierce, former president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association and city council candidate for the 2023 Memphis municipal election, has organized a rally to take place outside Memphis City Hall in an effort to save the 2024 Beale Street Music Festival. Well, except it's not going to be the Beale Street Music Festival anymore, dope. Memphis in May organizers recently announced the iconic Spring Festival is suspended for 2024, the music portion, citing low attendance, financial loss, and that pesky little $1.4 million bill from the Memphis River Parks Partnership to repair Tom Lee Park after the most recent festival. Price claims the festival substitute, which was announced the following day by Mempho Fest organizers, was all a part of a strategic plan by Memphis River Parks Partnership to replace the nonprofit festival with a for-profit festival. Please say it ain't so.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Price says the substitute music festival will not be accepted.
Andrew, you are
Not accepted. And the rally will be to demand the city council members save the Beale Street Music Festival. That will have to be something other than the Beale Street Music Festival. It'll be the Tiger Lane Music Festival. Yes! Well, good luck to the rally members. Look, I'm just happy that they saved the barbecue festival. I mean, I like blues like the next guy, but I don't think I'm going to Memphis to watch a blues festival. Maybe the embedded correspondents would be. I don't know. I have a story that I've just been dying to get to that I need your input on, but I can't get to it. I have too much content, but it's right there. It's ready to bubble up. It's evergreen. Don't worry about it. We got the embedded correspondents hanging out, ready to go. But right now, who are we talking about? Franklin's Barbecue Pits. What you have with the Franklin Pit is a deeply thought out and refined version of the old propane tank-style cookers that Aaron built for his restaurant. Stylistically, it reflects the bare-bones industrial handmade aesthetic that he loves, as in the patina, and the way the build allows you to see the welds and the craftsmanship. The schematics of a Texas-style offset barbecue pit are relatively simple, even if the things that happen inside reflect complicated dynamics of physics and chemistry. There are very few moving parts here, but there are numerous and massive differences between a Franklin pit and the average barbecue smoker sold at one of the big box stores. For one, much of the challenge of building and shipping these pits come with the thickness and the heaviness of the materials. But this is where the value lies. Cheap smokers are made from thin metal, which tends to warp and crack when sustaining that kind of heat. You need to make great barbecue, especially on a cold day. That thin metal quickly sheds the heat, and you simply struggle to maintain consistent temperatures, and that's frustrating. The Franklin Pit, primarily made of quarter-inch thick American-made steel, the complete opposite of that. What happens if you're somebody that owns a barbecue store like Rick Martin did, and you're interested in becoming a certified dealer? Visit their website, franklinbbqpits.com, and fill out their dealer form. Now, maybe you're somebody that's looking for a Franklin Pit and you don't have a dealer around you. You can buy one on their website as well, franklinbbqpit.com, and then buy one right there. They'll ship it right to your driveway. If you have any questions along the way, make sure you use the Contact Us link at the bottom of the website. Easy stuff. And don't forget, if you're in the Houston area, stop by Texas Star Grill Shop for that special deal they're running just for the listeners. Tell them you're a Barbecue Central Show listener. You want the deal. You'll be hooked up. All right, we're voting in 2023's Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available in 3 sizes, a host of accessories. It doesn't matter if you're just a beginner Or if you're a savvy veteran, it's a cooker you definitely want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. And we have them back one more time from Texas, Michigan, and the great city of Utah. It's the embedded correspondents. Sitting to my right, it is Doug Scheiding, longest running. Below me, it is John Solberg, who in my switcher seems to be suffering in and out, but he was in and now he's out, so we'll see what's happening. He's from Michigan, and there he is again. And then from the great city of Utah to my catty corner right, it is Rusty Monson of Salt City Barbecue and the aforementioned barbecue trailer that we have been tracking for the last now 2 years. So, gentlemen, before we get into all of this, let's do something we haven't done in a while. Let's get a ripe, quick sound check to make sure all microphones are working. Doug, give me a hey now.
Hey now.
John, hey now.
Hey now.
Rusty, hey now.
What's up?
All right, we're all sounding top notch. We have, boys, a YouTube poll question of the week, and we're asking everybody this. Between the two, which cooker would you rather buy? Pellet cooker or ceramic cooker? Rusty?
Ceramic, 100%.
John?
Ceramic.
Doug?
I wonder what I'm going to say, Pellet.
Right. Well, as luck would have it, Doug, 61% of the voting public is also saying they would rather have a pellet cooker, and that has re-increased its lead. It was almost trending towards 50-50, but now we're taking it away from the opposite direction here. So 61% saying pellet, 39% are saying ceramic cooker. We do have one 100% Assurity question that we have to get to before we take our 2023 Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Fame duties. Oh, so seriously. We'll go to Doug. Douglas, 100% yes or 100% no. Since the last time we gathered, Rusty has seen the Barbie movie, yes or no?
Yes. Is this like the fourth time? Absolutely no.
Absolutely no. Right? John, yes or no? Rusty has seen the Barbie movie.
No.
No. Wow. Greg, Rusty has seen the Barbie movie. Fool me twice. Shame on the world. I'm no dummy. I'm going no effing way. Which brings us to Rusty. Rusty, since the last time we gathered, you have seen the potentially award-winning Barbie movie, yes or no?
Watched it in my Mojo Dojo Casa house with my kids. It was the best movie of all time. So very, very good.
Damn it! You know, there was a fleeting moment where I was like, I am going to go against the mold this time. But no, I didn't want to look. See, I should just know better than that. So good for you. You really liked it, Rusty, or did you like it more that you were with the gals and it was just an enjoyable life experience?
I actually really did like it. It wasn't as great as I thought it would be, but it was really fun. I thought it was a fun movie. I really liked, what's his name? I've actually met him in real life. I can't remember his name ever. But he was the guy who played Ken. Well, they all play Ken, but main Ken. I thought it was really funny. I definitely would think it's worth a shot, for sure.
Was there a point in the movie where you thought about tearing up? Because I remember my youngest daughter said that there was a point where she shed a tear or two because of some life lesson.
Yeah, and I heard that too, and I was waiting for it, and it never happened. There was never a moment at the very end where I was like, this. It was over. I'm like, wait, hold on. Is there a credit scene or something that these guys are talking about? No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Rusty, heartless. Okay, well, good to see that we can eliminate this question for next month's 100% Assurity recurring questions. That was the only recurring one. But now we have a task at hand. We're a month late. Typically in September, we convene and we argue and then usher in a new class for the Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer. So allow me a few minutes to properly set this up. Since 2018, when it all started and we made a mass induction of what was then categorized Hall of Fame members. We had recurring folks, semi-recurring folks. I don't even know what the hell that means. And then we have one-off. And that's how we inducted a number of folks into that initial class of the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame. And then going forward, we changed it. So now we were only going to be putting in 5 people. And we were doing it in this way. The embedded correspondents were generating a list, and myself, of 5 people that we think are most deserving to be in the Guest Hall of Fame. What do you need to do to qualify to be a potential person to be nominated for the Guest Hall of Fame? All you have to do is show up on the show one time in your whole life ever. Now, that doesn't mean everybody makes the show, but if you've made the show, you have the opportunity of potentially making it into the Guest Hall of Fame. So what we will do here this evening is what we've done in many years past, and don't go back and fact check me on this because it might have changed, but I think at least for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been the same. Doug is going to present his 5 names. Then Rusty is going to present his 5 names. And then John is going to present his 5 names. And then I'm going to present my 5 names, not necessarily in that order. And if somehow, by sheer magical barbecue kismet, each one of us says one name, all of us unanimously, that person automatically makes it in. Now, maybe it happens again. And then maybe it happens again. Or maybe it doesn't happen at all. Then for whatever open spots there are after initial nomination, if nobody automatically qualifies, auto-qualifier, like throwing a jack term, then we will start to take one person that we feel most passionate about on that list, renominate that person, and then argue for it. And then at that point, we will go back around to see if we can get a unanimous yes. After reconsideration, yes, that person should be going in, and that's how we will fill the balance of the spots. John, you're the expert of the show. Is this right as I'm explaining it?
100% correct.
All right. Doug, just to fact check me and John, is this correct?
I remember when we were voting in Connie Rimpey that it was 2-1 and you were on the spot as to whether she was going to get in or not. So in the past, I thought we did 3-1.
So it was majority?
On the final vote. Final vote, yeah, 3-1.
Okay, 3-1.
You were on the hot seat on Connie Rimpey.
All right. Rusty, go ahead.
Mom.
2 years ago, when you and I were less gray, by the way, Craig, it was a majority, 3-1.
All right.
And last year we changed it to 4, all in or all out.
All right. Now, let's do this. What do we like better? Doug, you like majority or do you like unanimous?
I like majority, but
Rusty, majority or unanimous?
Majority.
John, unanimous or majority?
I say let's get the show on the road and figure it out.
All right, let's do that.
We'll fight it out at the end. Let's go.
Finally,
let's roll.
Somebody is talking sense, and I'm happy to have it. John, since you want to get the ball rolling, present your list of 5.
All right, here's my list. There's a little bit of new and a whole lot of old, in no particular order. My first nominee is Fred Bernardo, smoking guitar player.
Fred B. All right, number 2.
Coming down my list, Chris Becker.
Chris Becker, wow.
The pellet dude himself.
Chris Becker.
I got a dark horse here on my list.
Oh.
Chef C.B. Barry Martin.
Whoa.
Going way back to the day.
All right, C.B.
Here's
Barry
one
Martin.
Everybody will know.
Great.
When you're ready. Can't believe he's not there already. Matt Frampton.
Woo.
Matt Frampton.
Wow. John is bringing some heavy hitters here this year. All right, last one.
This was a tough list for me this year. And then here comes my new guy's got to be in here. It's got to be Wes Wright.
Wow.
Wes Wright.
Wow. All right. So just to recap, a Fred Bernardo, a Chris Becker, a C.B. Barry Martin, which nobody knows, a Matt Frampton, the Pizziola to Pizziolas, and Wes Wright, newcomer to the show, only just, he'll be starting his I'm not sure exactly how that works. He's been with the show over a year, let's say it like that. And he runs cookoutnews.com. So strong list by John. Certainly appreciate it. All right, Doug, your list. Number 1.
Well, I'm ashamed, like in the same venue that Chris Lilly wasn't in, Fast Eddie Morin.
Oh. Fast Eddie. Legend. Pellet legend. No doubt. All right. Number 2.
Number 2. I am going Jamie Purviance.
Wow. He's not in?
No, he's not in.
Wow. We have some heavy hitters on the show. Good for me. All right. Number 3.
Number 3. I am going Robert Moss.
Wow. All right. Southern Living's contributing barbecue editor, amongst many other things. Strong list so far. That's number 3, right? Let's go with number 4
Number
here.
3.
Doug?
And I had to get a new person in, and it was debating with Mr. Wes, but I'm going Chris Young.
Whoa! Chris Young, Combustion Inc., and formerly of Jewel or whatever, the Chef Steps, whatever that was. And yeah, definitely good opinion. All right, rounding out 5 here for Doug. Strong list so far. Go ahead.
Despite his revealing of our alleged butterfly matching 2 tramp stamps to the world on this show and his hipster, I am nominating Rusty Monson.
Wow.
But he's got to show his tramp stamp.
Wow. All right. Well, we don't want to put any regulations on Rusty getting in, but I certainly would like to see the tramp stamp as well. All right. We'll go to Rusty with his list of 5 here. In no particular order. Rusty, who do you got?
All right, so I'm going to go with Emily Detweiler because she'll be at the top of my list every year going forward because she needs to get down here. She's been on 11 times.
11 times?
2 different organizations.
Wow. Holy moly. I didn't realize
2 different organizations.
That's right. Smithfield, KCBS. That's right. All right.
And she's going, her name will fade away, and I can't let it happen. All right. I'm also going to say Robert Moss.
Oh?
Really enjoy listening to him. Even though never mind. Okay.
Wait. What are you going to say?
I was just going to agree with Daniel Vaughn. Just stay out of Texas.
All right. Number 3.
I'm going to go Tim Shear.
Oh.
One of my favorite guests.
Yeah. Competition cook, businessman, Memphis and May, Snagger, which is super. Number 4 from Rusty.
We're going to go with Andy Husbands again.
Wow. Old timer. I think Andy Husbands is the first guy I professed male love to when he was on Hell's Kitchen. I had a big man crush on him. He came on the show. It was so great. He actually came on the show when he was technically still on the show as it was airing and was like giving away stuff, but was also saying, like, being very sarcastic with his answers. He was great. I love Andy. All right, Rusty's has a strong list. 5 to cap it off.
I'm going to bring someone who's not, I don't believe they're new, but she's a damn good friend of mine and probably the top 3 best cooks I've ever met. Christy Vanover.
Wow. All right.
I knew it.
Rusty's best gal pal ever on the face of the earth, and he said it here on the show many times. Just to review, let me drop back to Doug here real quick. Fast Eddie, Jamie Purviance, Robert Moss, Chris Young, and Rusty Monson. Rusty did not vote for himself this time around, but he did nominate Emily Detweiler, Robert Moss, Tim Shear, Andy Husbands, and Christy Vanover. And that brings me to my list here in no particular order. I'm agreeing with John. Smoking guitar player Fred Benato. Absolutely. Number 2. I'm also agreeing with Doug on this one. Chris Young. Absolutely. He has been a breath of fresh scientific air, doing all sorts of crazy experiments, Production quality on his videos are second to none, and really shaking up the game as it relates to what a lot of people think is the standard or the norm and proving it wrong, which I certainly appreciate. Number 3, throwing everybody for a loop. Rusty probably has no idea who this guy is, but you two do. Stover Harger III. Who can forget Stover calling in as Barbecue Smokey? Total of 5 appearances. 2 as Smokey Smockfer. 1 as Brisket Dwarf. The Barbecue Wizard. I don't know if people remember that bit or not, but I think Stover, John with the eye closing is in.
We don't remember. We're trying to forget.
That's right.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Number 4. I'm also agreeing with Doug on this one. Fast Eddie Marr. See what I did there, Doug? I pretended like I didn't know he was on the list, but I also had scanned the list to realize he was not on there. That's incredible. Here's one out of the blue for number 5. I don't know if anybody's even going to remember this. John will probably remember, but I don't know if anybody else is going to remember this. How does this name grab you? Sarah Ray Lewis. Anybody remember that name? John, you remember that? Yes. So
I do.
In case
last day of her existence out of position.
In case you don't remember, Sarah Ray Lewis is Steve Ray's daughter, former embedded correspondent from Tennessee, persona non grata. Get out of here! His daughter worked for Stanley, like the thermos company Stanley, and she did a segment on the show. Had this huge Stanley display with all different kinds of shit that they sell. Did a incredible interview. And then I thought to myself, well, she was pretty good. I think there might be a fit here. I reached out to Steve the next day and I said, I don't want to impose, but do you think I might get a hold of Sarah and, start running a potential sponsorship deal? And he said, that's going to be hard. I said, why? He's like, because yesterday was her last day at Stanley. She did this incredible interview. She was done. Like, she knew the minute that interview started, she had no reason to do it except that she had made a commitment and she held through. She did a fantastic interview and it was insane. And then never to be heard from again. But a great interview if you go back through the archives and listen to it. So on the strength of knowing she was leaving, and she was very high ranked in that position as well, did a bang up interview like she was going to be there for the next 20 years. Sarah Ray Lewis gets my 5th vote. So good news and bad news. All of us, I think this might be the best list that all of us have brought to the table in the history of the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame since 2018. Bad news is this. We have no unanimous decision. Well, that sucks. So now I have to figure out, are we going to go unanimous? Here's my thought. Majority is easy, but unanimous is everybody agrees. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame. This ain't some other piece of crap podcast, Barbecue Hall of Fame, whatever. Who cares? I feel like this deserves a level of unanimousness that majority doesn't offer. So I'm going to propose that we go unanimous instead of majority. And by the way, it's not up for debate. That's what we're going to do. However, we are going to do it right after we get back from the Big Papa read. So stand by and we will talk to everybody. Hey, you heard everybody. You heard our names. Who are you putting in? Let me hear who you want to put in. Generate your own list. You're not going to be considered. But let's hear your own list. Look at this. Jeff and Drizzy saying Jose or Quiza. Great. Of course. All right, listen up, gang. Our friends at Big Papa Smokers have something special just for you, the listeners of the show. Whether you're a seasoned pitmaster or grilling newbie, Big Papa Smokers, your one-stop shop for all things barbecue. From their championship rubs, mouth-watering sauces, essential accessories, they've got what you need to take your food to the next level, both on the competition circuit and in the backyard. Here's the cherry on top. Big Papa Smokers is offering the listeners of the Barbecue Central Show an exclusive deal. Use the code REMPE at checkout. That's REMPE. You get $10 off your next $50 purchase of rubs, sauces, or accessories. Imagine the possibilities. Evaluating your ribs with Big Papa Smokers Sweet Money Rub. Or add Big Papa's Desert Gold to your chicken or vegetables. Or better yet, pick up Double Secret Steak and put it on your steak. Head over to BigPapaSmokers.com and start shopping today and start saving today when you use the code REMPE at checkout to claim $10 off your next order of $50 or more. Don't forget to check out Big Papa's full line of recipes at cookingwithbigpapa.com. And, of course, follow them on social media platforms for their amazing recipes. Sterling continuing to cook up a storm. We're trying to wrangle him for an interview, but he's very hard to pin down. But I do see that he's going to be doing Meathead's show on Thursday, I think it is. So if you need to see him live, see him with Meathead. And then maybe you'll see him here on this show. All right, we're going to vote in a class for crying out loud. So stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Craig Rempe.
All right, we are back and weighing in the comments section. Thank you, my Doug. My ring is my prized possession. That's Barbecue Hall of Famer Connie Rempe. Talking right there, prized possession. Of course, I'm not the prized possession, but that ring is the prized possession. All right, thanks, Bob. So we have everybody's list here, and now we're going to fight for our right to put 5 in. John, let's go to you. Give me the person you are most passionate about putting into the Barbecue Hall of Fame, and we will require a unanimous vote in order to get into the hall this year. Go ahead, John.
Man, this is going to be like the UAW and the Big Three. It's going to be a long night, gentlemen. I'm gonna live or die on Wes Wright. And I know at this point there's like, just looking at this statistically, there's just no way that's a snowball's chance in hell. But Wes brings information to the show that has never been brought before. It's just not the rehash same old stuff. It is a deep dive into the business of barbecue and grilling. Of course, on a personal note, I'm very passionate about that information. He brings me information that I want. I can't be the only one. I don't know him. He's not my best friend. I'm not trying to vote him in because he's my best friend. Sorry. But so I'm going to live or die with Wes, and I'm sure it's going to die off early, but I'm going to fall on that sword right now.
All right. John, first argument for is Wes Wright of cookoutnews.com. Rusty, yes or no?
Why'd you start with me, man? That's damn it.
Embedded correspondence should be at the ready.
Listen, one, I have to kind of go off topic here, by the way. I do know Stover. Him and I have a very close relationship in Magic the Gathering, and we are friends on the Magic the Gathering app and have played a few times.
That's not weird at all.
You know what? I actually know this person. I haven't heard him on the show, so I can't really say yes or no.
You can.
But I didn't really get a lot from John in that one. He also took a dig at my best friend, and I'm going to have to say no.
Oh, quickly died. All right. I thought Mr. Positive was going to have Wes Wright hang until we got the Doug. So he's out. All right. Doug, you are arguing for who this evening? You are on mute, Doug.
Trying to be a little more professional.
I appreciate that.
I don't even know I have to argue for Fast Eddie Morin. Like I said, it's a disgrace he's not already in 7 times, 3 of the best of, twice in the last year of Best Of. And I think his first episode was like episode 39 or something like that.
Oh, technically speaking, his first episode was on the Brisket Roundtable when the show was just a podcast, and it was him and Leanne Whippen and Dr. Barbecue and Jim Minion, who should also probably be in the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame now that I'm thinking about it, but that'll be a name I add next year. So, all right, Doug is semi-arguing for Fast Eddie. We can go to me. I, of course, second that opinion and say Fast Eddie should be in there. Rusty, Fast Eddie, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, dear.
Yes.
Well, we could have our first inductee here this evening if John gives me a yes. John, yes to the Fast Eddie, yes or no?
Absolutely, 100% yes. I'm just going to pull him for my next year's list because he's on my next year's list already.
All right. So
it's the right thing to do. Compromise to win.
Fast
Rusty.
Eddie. Now, look, I want to make sure if you guys feel it's a no, I don't want anybody to feel pressured. We're all big boys here. We can smack each other around. We're all friends after. So if you feel no, I implore you to say no. John,
I'm speaking my mind.
All right. Well, I'm not worried about
absolutely. That. Because I'm working on 24 list here too. Come on, we got to think bigger. This is a big Hall of Fame.
No doubt.
It needs this kind of dedication.
All right, Rusty, who are you arguing for your first round?
I'm going to go, in my opinion, which is my best option to get put in right away, is Robert Moss.
All right.
I've talked to Robert a couple times, and wealth of information. I love his book. I like him when he's on the show. He's one of your people you have on often. I like to listen to. He has a good take on things, and I like what he's doing. So I'm going to definitely go Robert Moss.
Doug, confirm Robert Moss.
Yes, he was on my original list.
Yes. All right. John, Robert Moss, yes or no?
Yes.
All right.
Come on.
And we have our second unanimous, Robert Moss. I agree as well. So, Robert Moss is in. We have Fast Eddie and Robert Moss, and that brings me to argue for my first person. And I am going to argue for a longtime sponsor of the show, somebody who made over 6 total appearances over 4 years, 2010 to 2014, was originally a guitar and music supply store, and then somehow magically branched into the barbecue and grilling supply store, which is Fred Bernardo, the smoking guitar player, who once on this show had an acoustic guitar and off the top of his head sang a song about his barbecue RV that he would take to his trailer, or that he would take to competitions, called Barbecue One. That was the name of the RV. It was the name of the song. He made it up right on the spot. Hall of Fame worthy right there. But on top of that, forget about the business stuff. Forget about all the segments. Fred was a great interview, passionate about all the topics he was bringing to the table, and quite a trendsetter back 2010, 2014 with these crazy videos that he was doing, sharing them with me to then share with the audience at that point. So there were a lot of avant-garde things that Fred was doing that everybody was kind of scoffing and laughing at, that now is quite commonplace as we sit here in 2023. So Fred Bernardo, my pick to argue for first here in the 2023 Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame. Rusty, Fred Bernardo, yes or no?
There are, in my opinion, better options, so no.
All right. And Fred Bernardo dies quickly on the table here. So we'll go back to John. John, your next argue pick.
My next argument pick? Or am I confirming Fred Bernardo, or is he out?
No, Fred Bernardo.
I don't have another argument pick. My argument pick is Wes Wright.
No. You rank your picks of importance. So Wes was your number one. He didn't make it. Now you have the next most important person of that 5 that you would like to see in.
Well, then I'm going to argue for Fred Bernardo, because let's not forget, he was also on Doug's 2019 list that Doug was trying to induct in 2019. So we don't know where Doug weighs in on that, but my argument pick again is going to go with you and go Fred Bernardo.
Yes, but Rusty
should be in the Hall of Fame.
Rusty's already kiboshed Fred Bernardo, so that makes the unanimous.
So it's going to be a long night, isn't it, gentlemen?
That's right.
That's going to be a long night.
Who else?
That's
you got somebody else on that list, John. Who else is on that list?
Chris Becker's on that list.
Chris Becker.
Chris Becker. Why is Chris Becker not in the Hall of Fame? He's got the greatest kitchen of any guest ever, by the way.
Yes.
He's got all the lights in it. He built those kitchen just to be on your show. Cookingpellets.com. Come on. It's like, why is he not in there? He's been here for years.
All right. Rusty, Chris Becker, cookingpellets.com. Yes or no?
You sadistic son of a bitch.
That's right. I'm here for the party. I want all the smoke.
I like this guy a lot. I like Chris Becker a lot. I think I'm going to say yes on this one.
All right. Doug, yes or no?
Actually, he was not on my original list as of 5 p.m. tonight, but he was on my number 6 on my list after doing research today. So I am going yes.
Oh, I think we might have a number 3 here. It's all up to me. The guy flatly explained 2 things: how pellets are made, so everybody can understand it on the show, and then flatly kiboshed charcoal pellets and gave real reasons why that was bullshit back then. He's in the Barbecue Central Show's guest host. Chris Becker is in. So Fast Eddie is in. Robert Moss is in. Chris Becker is in. We only have 2 more to go. This is going to be easy. Doug, who's next for you?
That's a tough one. I am going to say Chris Young.
All right.
Combustion Inc. He is our own. Meat has his Dr. Blonder, right? He has become the show's Dr. Blonder.
He's his own Dr. Blonder.
He is.
No doubt.
But he's become our Barbecue Central Dr. Blonder because when we have a technical question, we want an experiment. Who do we call? Chris Young.
Right.
And he's a real ass chef. That the last time he was on, he gave a PhD level course in steak, and I listened to it 3 times. I was he was saying things that I actually didn't know about. He's been on 5 times in the last 1.5 years. He's not a regular guest, and I learned something every time he's on.
All right. Well, good argument from Doug. I will obviously second that because he was also on my list. John, yes or no to Chris Young?
No. Next.
Just for sadistic purposes, Rusty, were you a yes or a no?
Yeah, I think Chris is awesome, and we need more of him in the barbecue world.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, that was close, but no cigar. Rusty, who's next for you?
I'm going to have to go with one of my barbecue idols in Tim Shear. I don't think I need an explanation on that one. One of the top best barbecue cooks of all times. Great interview. Love having. I listen to him talk all the time. So it's not like he does a great interview, but he's really cool. So I don't really have a lot for him. I just think he should be on it. Just because he's Tim Shear. That's really my argument.
Okay, that's a crap argument, but we'll go to Doug to see if you get some backup. Doug, yes or no to Tim Shear?
I've actually nominated him in the past. Is he the one that Blues Hog was?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was a pretty moving interview that he had. So going back to years past, I will say yes.
No. All right. I will also say yes to Tim Shear on the strength of the recall of The Life of Bill Arnold and how that whole acquisition came to be and how he said he would carry the brand on in a certain way. And he's had great interviews throughout his time here as well. He was on this list for me originally And then I moved him off for some more obscure names, which may or may not pan out here as we work through the rest of the evening. It's all up to John. John, yes or no on Tim Shear?
You know, the Bill Arnold thing pulls at my heartstrings. That's the only saving grace in this yes vote. The only thing that's going to get him in for my vote is that interview alone.
Wow.
Throw the rest of it in the trash. Worst interview ever, but he is in.
Tim Shear is in the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame, and that leaves only one name left. We have to be able to get it off of our remaining names here through the evening. It's up to me to bring you a name. Fred Bernardo is off the list. Chris Young is in and off the list. And Fast Eddie is in and off the list. So that means I have to pick between Stover and Sarah Ray Lewis. On the strength of the fact that I know now that she was not going to be working for the company and gave a stellar interview, if you go back and listen to it, and you can't do it now because we're in the middle of talking about it, but trust me, it was a great interview. She has to be in the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame and would be a perfect one-off inductee if we were still doing one-off guests, but we're not doing that anymore. It's Sarah Ray Lewis for my vote, and passionate ask for you guys to vote on her behalf as well. Rusty, yes or no?
Oh, God, no. Come on, get out of here. Move on. No. Bye.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Right. So no Sarah Ray Lewis. That makes my names very limited at this point, and it's going to be a hard hurdle to get Stover to cross over the John Solberg hurdle. We'll see. All right, John, you have another name left. Let's hear what you got.
I got to go with Matt Frampton. Think back to all the history that even
Pizziola to Pizziola.
And grill on grill action, the Christmas. I mean, go beyond the Christmas song.
The Christmas song
before pizza.
Right.
I know that's a stretch back to grill on grill, but Matt, Doug, you might know how many times Matt's been on, but it seems like a million times. He's the dude.
Well, Matt Frampton, certainly a strong potential way to close this out here. Doug, yes or no on Matt Frampton?
No, my first inclination is no. I would need to.
Wow. All right. Doug, John, I was with you on that one. I was definitely going to vote yes. All right. Doug, name for you.
Name for me. I will go yes. Ooh, this is tough. I am going to go my guy, Rusty Monson, tramp stamp brother.
All right. The tramp stamp himself from the great city of Utah.
He doesn't like to admit it, but he is the hipster of our panel here.
He's the beatnik of the embedded correspondent. That's what you're saying.
He is. He is. He's the Podumentary.
Yes.
He was finals of Barbecue Idol.
Yes.
If he hadn't gone to, he went and watched the Barbie movie for us. That to me, that's quite a sacrifice.
No doubt.
In my world. So, and he's been I think he'd been interviewed 6 times. So I'm going Rusty.
All right. Doug is arguing passionately for Rusty to round out the class of 5 here. John, yes or no on Rusty?
The beatnik of the Barbecue Central Show has just warmed the cockles of my heart. I say, welcome aboard, Dobie Gillis.
All right.
I say yes for Rusty. That was awesome.
John gets a yes for Rusty to be in, and that leaves it all up to me. On the strength of Rusty being Mr. Positivity, mostly, but then finds it in his heart to take massive shits all over people when it seemingly makes no sense to take shits over people. Rusty is in! Yes! Folks, we've done it. Holy moly, I can't believe that we actually did it. But
can he vote for himself or against himself?
No, of course not. Give me a break. Rusty, do you vote for yourself, yes or no?
I will say that Matt Frampton was an absolute lock. I don't even understand that one.
No doubt.
That makes I will contemplate that one till next year. But yes, I accept your nomination. I appreciate you.
Thank God,
gentlemen, and I love each and every one of you.
So we've done it, and we did it quicker than the UAW strike that continues to plague the country. So we've shown John that we can come together and make deals happen, reach across aisles, and do whatever the hell we're doing. All right, look, we put together this class just for everybody that's coming in. The new class is Fast Eddie, Robert Moss, Chris Becker, Tim Shear, and Rusty Monson from the great city of Utah. So we have a solid contingent of guest Hall of Famers that also make up the embedded correspondence, which I certainly like. And we do have a little time for promotion here. So as we head out the door, John, what would you like to promote here this month?
Check out this Friday the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Get it wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Just search the BBQ Central show and subscribe.
Doug, what are we promoting?
I'm surprisingly going to be on the Baseball and Barbecue podcast as co-host.
Of course, it's your podcast.
Exactly. They're lucky I let them on. And the illustrious and always entertaining Robin Lindars.
Rusty, what are you promoting?
Nice. You guys can check out the Pitmaster podcast this Thursday. We have Brett McKinney and Benny Watsman from BMAC, who just RGC'd the Jack Daniels Invitational. So I keep on wanting to say the Royal. I don't know why, but yeah, check it out.
Rusty, when is the launch of Don't Get Into the Barbecue Trailer Business podcast?
I am 4 episodes in. I'm waiting to get to 8, and then I'm going to start structuring it together.
All right.
I have 2 more this week, so we're almost there. Getting close.
Very good. We're getting close to launch. They are the embedded correspondents. Doug Scheiding is just to the right of me, longest running embedded correspondent from Texas. Below me, John Solberg, also the executive producer of the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less from Michigan, and newly indoctrinated 2023 Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer from the great city of Utah, Rusty Monson of Salt City Barbecue. There they are. I can't believe we did it. And we still have time to do everything else before the hour closes in on us. My mouse is deciding not to work here right now, but we are ready to roll. Let me stop these because we are going to run over just a little bit. Got to make those adjustments to my Hall of Fame list as we get off air here tonight. Now, aside from live fire cooking, I am a huge partaker in live fire smoking cigars, premium hand-rolled cigars, that is. And everybody knows by now my favorite brand is the Aladino Corojo Reserva. What do we know about Aladino? Made by JRE Tobacco, that's Julio Aroa. His son, Justo, is also entrenched in making great blends. A family-run brand. Vivi is my point of contact over at JRE Tobacco, and that's Justo's daughter. So it's intrinsically family-run brand. Vertically integrated manufacturer known for its authentic Corojo tobacco, grown at the JRE Tobacco Farms in Honduras. This is the original Cuban seed of Corojo. Its flavor characteristics are unique, and it brings you back to the golden era of cigars in Cuba. From 1947 to 1961, the approach in blending prioritizes flavor to give contemporary smokers a sensational smoking experience with a range of blends, making sure there is something for everyone to enjoy. Find a retailer near you by visiting jretobacco.com and then go to the dealer locator or retailer locator, put in your zip code and see where the nearest one is for you. And as I offer every week, if you are hearing this, if you are somebody that enjoys a premium hand-rolled cigar and you haven't had the opportunity and privilege of smoking a Corojo Tobacco Puro or Puro, hit me up. Hit me on the emails. Tell me you'd like to try an Aladino, and I will send a pair out to you in Robusto at this point. You can smoke them and let me know what you like. You're going to love it. I've had some of the most experienced cigar smokers who have not had a Corojo Reserva smoke them, immediately get back to me after they smoke and say, you're right, this thing is badass. No doubt. I'm not going to give you crap. The show is only in promotion of the best of the best. Aladino Corojo Reserva, the best of the best when it comes to cigars. And my current favorite. We're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. In case you are joining late and you knew we were ushering in a brand new class for the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame, making it in for the class of 2023, Fast Eddie Morin, Robert Moss, who you find monthly here on this show, Southern Living's contributing barbecue editor, creator of RobertFMoss.com. He's a podcast host and a restaurant reviewer and an author. CB, Chris Becker from cookingpellets.com makes it in. Tim Shear from Blues Hog and is it Marble Ridge? He has Wagyu beef and he's also Heritage Breed hog producer as well. Also, the team name, Shake and Bake Barbecue, Gateway Drum Smoker. Very accomplished in the business and on the competition side and has given great interviews. And according to John Solberg, on the strength of only one, is saying yes on the recount of the life of Bill Arnold and how they came together as friends and then grew into, a lot more than friends, really like a family, and how that whole takeover of the business happened. And rounding it out, our very own Rusty Monson, the Utah embedded correspondent, makes it in. So Fast Eddie, Robert Moss, Chris Becker, Tim Shear, and Rusty Monson, your 2023 Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame class. Like it or dislike it, as I'm thinking about it now, from now on, we might go to majority only starting in 2024. Or we might need to bring like 10 to the table because if everybody's not feeling the majority of the stuff, like I was going to run out of names. So we might need to bring a list of 10 so we can argue 5 so we have enough in. So we might go to majority, we might stay unanimous. But it's important, right? I mean, this is a Hall of Fame, so I think unanimous probably think, but I'm just being a little reactionary right now. Hey, all the way back in the first hour, Rick Martin from the Texas Star Grill Shop was my guest. And if you are in the market for a Franklin barbecue pit and you want a deal and you live in the Houston area, go to his store, tell him you want the Barbecue Central Show deal, and be shocked. The first $500 payment of 9, you can bring that home with you. How about that? Second hour, the embedded correspondence tonight put in a brand new Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame class. Big show planned for you next week, of course. So how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.
This is Steve, the Cookout Coach, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.